You know, you just dug your favorite classic gaming console out of the closet,
Mhm.
or maybe it's that ultra high-end legacy DVD player you spent a small fortune on back in the day.
Oh, yeah, we've all been there.
Right. And you go to hook it up to your brand new 4K flat screen, and nothing. The ports just, well, they don't match at all. Welcome to this custom-tailored deep dive where we are tackling this exact dilemma.
It is such a incredibly common headache.
It really is. So our mission today is to decode a piece of gear that actually solves this. It's a $299 magic box from HDTVSupply, the Smart-AVI V2V-C2H-01-S Converter. So, okay, let's unpack this. You have older hardware outputting component video and SPDIF audio, and a modern TV that only speaks HDMI. How do you actually bridge that gap?
Well, it's a massive gap to bridge, honestly, because you're dealing with entirely different signal realities. Let's break down what's actually entering this converter.
Okay, yeah.
We've got the YPbPr video, which is really just the industry term for those red, blue, and green analog component cables you were mentioning.
Right, the classic ones.
Exactly. And alongside that, you've got SPDIF, which is your raw digital audio stream coming through like an optical or coaxial cable.
So you've got these two totally different feeds.
Yeah, and this single device physically takes those two disparate feeds and just fuses them into one unified 720p 60 Hz HDMI output.
I mean, that's wild because it's not just translating, French to English or something. It is fundamentally changing the nature of the information itself.
That is a really good way to put it.
Like, it's taking a continuous physical analog wave, almost like someone painting a continuous stroke with a brush, right? And instantly chopping it up, converting it into a strict digital pixel grid, like assembling a mosaic tile by tile.
Yes, and doing that 60 times every single second.
Which is just mind-blowing.
It is. And it's doing that while also processing high-end digital audio formats. We're talking DTS HD and Dolby True HD, ensuring they sync up perfectly with that newly generated pixel grid.
Okay, wait, so that actually answers a huge question for me, because at $299, I have to assume this isn't just, some basic adapter that changes the physical shape of the plug.
Oh, no, not at all.
Right, because if it's actively altering the signal inside from a wave to a grid and syncing complex audio to video, that requires some serious processing power.
That is exactly where the cost comes in. Real-time analog to digital AV conversion requires serious hardware muscle.
Because if you don't have that muscle...
If you just cram an analog signal into a digital wire without massive processing power, you get lag. I mean, the video trails behind the audio, or the picture just degrades into this blocky mess.
Nobody wants that.
Definitely not. So to prevent that, this converter operates with a single-link video bandwidth of 10.2 gigabits per second, or 340 megahertz.
Wait, so it needs that massive 10.2 gigabit pipe just to process a 720p signal fast enough so your audio and video don't drift out of sync?
Precisely. Because it's sampling that continuous analog wave millions of times a second to rebuild it cleanly as digital data. And it has to do that without any delay.
That is a ton of data crunching.
It really is. Plus, it has adaptive PL and NTSC support.
Meaning it works with international formats.
Right. It automatically adjusts to the differing frame rates and resolutions of international video standards right on the fly. And the internal amplifier has the signal integrity to push that newly minted, crystal clear HDMI signal up to 25 feet away.
Wow, 25 feet.
Yeah, through a standard cable without dropping a single bit of data.
But here's where it gets really interesting to me, because if it's doing all this intense 10 gigabit data crunching and, real-time wave-to-pixel processing inside a tiny 5.5-inch box...
The box that weighs less than a pound, by the way.
Less than a pound. Wouldn't that make it an absolute nightmare for the average person to set up?
You would think so.
Because I'm picturing complex menus, calibration screens, just endless toggle switches to get the picture right.
Honestly, considering the heavy lifting happening under the hood, that's a completely fair assumption, but it's actually engineered to be strictly plug and play.
Really? So you just plug it in?
You just connect the cables. There are straightforward LED indicators that instantly verify your signal status, and it installs in minutes.
No software?
Zero software to configure. It's incredibly complex on the inside, but dead simple on the outside.
That is exactly what you want.
Yeah, and HDTVSupply sweetens the deal by bundling it with free USA shipping, the latest preloaded firmware, and a 1-year warranty to back up that $299 investment.
Okay, so what does this all actually mean for you listening at home? Ultimately, this single gray box acts as a technological bridge.
A very powerful bridge.
Exactly. It keeps your older media systems alive and relevant in the HDMI era without sacrificing your video or audio fidelity.
Yeah.
It takes the heavy lifting of real-time signal conversion and makes it invisible, so you can just enjoy your legacy gear.
Which raises a really important question to think about.
Oh, what's that?
Well, if a single converter can instantly breathe new life into older tech, bridging the analog to digital divide so seamlessly, what other obsolete electronics sitting in your closet are just one clever translator away from being incredibly useful again?